Hello, meatbags.
You get the hell out!
I know that I haven't put anything up. Work has been making me a little busy, and I think I have a little time off to make this video.
I'm here today to talk to you about a very powerful little word.
No?
One that people will do almost anything to avoid becoming.
Sounds more like you're talking about a regressive left than anything. Trying to show that they clearly aren't, which they clearly are.
Billion-dollar industries thrive because of the fear of it.
Actually, it's called fads. It happens from time to time. That's what mostly sells shit. It's also run by supply and demand. If there's a high demand, there is going to be supply. It's basic economics. Besides, people are stupid. They will buy literally anything. You know, they still make that, you know.
And those of us who undeniably are it are left to navigate a relentless storm surrounding it. I'm not sure if any of you have noticed
that you're sucking air like a vacuum cleaner and sweating more than a pedophile sees Chris Hansen.
But I'm fat.
No way.
But actually, you're not. You're morbidly obese. There's a difference.
Not the lowercase muttered behind my back kind, or the seemingly harmless chubby or cuddly.
Or fluffy.
I'm not even the more sophisticated, voluptuous or curvaceous kind. Let's not sugarcoat it. I am the capital F-A-T kind of fat.
You said it, not me. But admitting you have a problem is the first step to recovery. Good on you.
I am the elephant in the room.
Well, give yourself credit. You're not really that fat yet.
When I walked out on stage, some of you may have been thinking, oh, this is going to be hilarious, because everybody knows that fat people are funny. Or you may have been thinking, where does she get her confidence from? Because a confident fat woman is almost unthinkable.
Then you have never met a fat black woman in your life.
The fashion-conscious members of the audience may have been thinking how fabulous I look in this Beth Ditto dress.
No, I'm just wondering why you're covered in sticky notes. Is one of them your shopping lists?
A pallet? Am I reading this right? You need a pallet of chocolate-covered pretzels. Where the hell am I supposed to... what is this? A drum of grape jam? Is that... what is it? Is that like a drum like they ship oil in? Is that... Look at this one. A desk of Cheez-Its. A desk... Where are you getting these units of measurement from?
Mary?
That is still funny. Okay, you stay right here, big funny gal. I'll be right back with a hammock of cake.
Thank you very much. Where some of you might have thought, oh, black would have been so much more slimming.
You didn't get this from me, but that's an urban myth.
You may have wondered, consciously or not, if I have diabetes, or a partner, or if I eat carbs after 7 p.m. You may have worried that you ate carbs after 7 p.m. last night, and that you really should renew your gym membership.
See, those are good, funny, fat jokes that poke fun at it. That's what makes it funny. But people like you are trying to make it not funny because that easily offend people. But we poke at bad things because we know it's bad, and we laugh at it. But this is a false sense of security for the people until you get into the real shit.
These judgments are insidious. They can be directed at individuals and groups, and they can also be directed at ourselves. And this way of thinking is known as fat phobia.
Okay, first off, fat phobia. What is that? What even is that? I'll tell you. It's supposed to be an irrational feel of fat. Let me tell you something. I deal in facts, and the fact shows that it's not an irrational feeling to be fat, because there are multiple diseases and loss in mobility that cause by being too fat. So it is not an irrational fear.
Like any form of systematic oppression, fat phobia is deeply rooted in complex structures like capitalism, patriarchy and racism, like capitalism, patriarchy, 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 patriarchy. And that can make it really difficult to see, let alone challenge. We live in a culture where being fat is seen as being a bad person.
Not necessarily a bad person, just someone who made bad choices in their life and are now blaming others other than themselves for them being fat. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem here. Because see, you're standing here pointing the finger at everybody else saying, stop making fun of me and stop making me feel bad about myself because I'm fat. Because you had the choice to have an extra slice of cake and you want people not to demonize you for it. And here in a second, you're gonna give us every reason why we think this.
Lazy, greedy, unhealthy, irresponsible, and morally suspect.
Those are the biggest problems, except for that last one. I have no idea what that fucking means. So let's go on to another story here and see if your little feelings take effect on this. This is the story of Monica Riley. She wants to be 1,000 pounds. She wants to be 1,000 pounds and eats 8,000 calories a day. How? She blends it up and sucks it down through a tube, a funnel. I am not kidding. She literally eats out of a funnel. She does nothing but eat every day, and she does it in front of a camera. I love how they presume to say model. You know what, let me just fix that. And there we go. Because she is nothing more than a fetish dealer. This is what it is. It's nothing but a fetish deal. See, once she hits a certain body weight, she will not be able to move. She is completely satisfied to be bedridden for the rest of her life. She is literally killing herself. This is her right now. This is disgusting. You tell me, being and wanting and trying to be 1,000 pounds, a half a ton is a good life choice. Obesity is such a problem now that my generation is now going to be outlived by the previous generation because of our eating habits. That is bad. In a nutshell, obesity is bad. It is unhealthy to be this fat. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can sit there and say, being as big as you are as healthy as someone who runs track every day and keeps his body well maintained and healthy. That person is going to live longer than you. But no, you're gonna stand on your little soapbox before it crushes under your own weight and protest that you're big and beautiful, and if anyone says otherwise, they're harassing you and they're fatophobic, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
And we tend to see thinness as being universally good, responsible, successful, and in control of our appetites, bodies, and lives.
And all those are pretty much right, except for successful. I'm not really that successful, even though I'm kind of skinny. But let's go to another story of someone who took matters into her own hands and got the weight down. But instead of praise by the people that loved her for being big, lashed out at her for losing all the weight that she had. This is Rosie Mercado, a plus-size model who has been in the industry since 2009, who recently lost 250 pounds. She used to be 4'10". She lost half her body mass. That is astounding. And you know what happened to her? For the people who backed her up and loved her so much of being plus size at a 400 pounds, that's not really plus size, that's fucking obese. They lashed out at her and threw hate mail at her They hated her for losing that weight because apparently, from her own words, to say, to these people, losing any amount of weight is going to a size 0. This is the biggest problem with you people. When someone tries to get a hold of their life and starts losing the weight, you demonize them for doing it. Hi pot, me kettle. Let's call each other black here. So, it's okay for you to demonize someone when they're fat and they want to lose weight and they do lose weight, but it's not right for me to demonize you or say that you're a little overweight because you are, and show you the facts of how you being this bad is unhealthy for you and is bad.
Isn't that ass backwards?
We see these ideas again and again in the media, in public health policy, doctors' offices.
He or she is a fucking doctor. 10, 12 years out of their life to study this shit. They know what they're talking about. If they're telling you stop doing it, that's unhealthy. It's unhealthy and you should stop it.
In everyday conversations and in our own attitudes. We may even blame fat people themselves.
We do, and I will, because I'm not the one who's the size of a small house. So if it wasn't your fault, then who held you down and shoved the cheeseburgers down your throat?
For the discrimination they face, because after all, if we don't like it, we should just lose weight. Easy.
Now, don't get me wrong, losing weight is not easy. It is not easy. But it shows how much will and hope you're putting into yourself and care for yourself for you to continue and to lose the weight. It's not easy and it's never going to be easy. If it was, no one would be fat.
This anti-fat bias has become so integral, so ingrained to how we value ourselves and each other, that we rarely question why we have such contempt for people of size.
You really want to know why? Sexual drive. It is the running thing inside of every human brain. It is the primal urge to mate, because we naturally assess the same sex and the opposite sex due to a partner and competition. That is basically the primal human urge to procreate.
We actively choose to flourish in these bodies as they are today. People who honour our strength and work with, not against, our perceived limitations. People who value health as something much more holistic than a number on an outdated BMI chart.
Before we go on, let me just say this. It is unhealthy to be that fat. It's also unhealthy to be too thin. It's also unhealthy to be too buff. Being too much of anything can be bad. Like the saying goes, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. The reason why humans have fat, and most mammals and animals entirely have fat, is for food rationing. If they haven't gone without food for a while, the body deteriorates the fat buildup within their bodies. If there's not enough fat, they'll start deteriorating everything else. But at this day and age, we're not really in America, and indeed the first worlds don't have a problem like that anymore. So we eat and consume so much that it has become an epidemic of obesity, which is the biggest problem in the first world of America mostly. So for you to stand there and say it's not a problem and don't make me feel bad is just wrong. It is unhealthy and it is terrible for you and everyone that you are lying to them. Not only is it unhealthy for you, but it can make you miserable, lonely, depressed. It is unhealthy, and you know this, and you are lying not only to yourself, but to everyone in that audience and everyone that is watching this.
Instead, we value mental health, self-worth, and how we feel in our bodies as vital aspects to our overall well-being.
Feeling good about yourself is not the solution. In actuality, it can be a problem. If you feel good about yourself being overweight or okay with yourself acting up in class and not really learning because you're not really going to get punished, it's going to steadily go downhill. Where, I don't know, you want to be 1,000 pounds or drop out of high school and be a patty flipper for the rest of your life. Thinking good thoughts is not the solution. Hell, it is the problem. And that's going to be the end of this, folks. Sorry for the delay, and hopefully the Let's Plays will get done by, well, I'll update you on that. But until next time, I will see you meatbags in the next episode.
Shut the fuck up. You're a fucking cunt. Shut the fuck up. You're a stupid cunt. Suck my dick.
Death of it sounds of metal. 'Tis the season